Hey Bullets YouTube channel.
Hurry up, now tell us why you're here.
From the drop of the green flag in a Piston Cup race, until the white flag and the checkered flag of the first race, all the way until the final race, where the Piston Cup winner is determined. Now, you might be wondering, who is the most famous Piston Cup racer? Most Piston Cup racers aren't very successful, and thus, their fame wouldn't extend beyond the United States. But a lucky few Piston Cup racers are known worldwide, either because they didn't come from the United States or because they were so successful that they were able to become famous in other countries. Now, who is this racer? Nick Charger! What? Nick Charger? How is he famous? Nah, I'm joking. Of course it's not Nick Charger. It's Gerald Leadfoot. He's the most famous Piston Cup racer. Once again, I was joking. The car that's actually the most famous is the car that came after him, Lightning McQueen. With his over 90 career victories and his 7 Piston Cups, only one of 2 racers that was able to win 7 Piston Cups. And also, Lightning McQueen never failed to qualify for a Piston Cup race. But how is Lightning McQueen more famous than the King Strip Weathers, who won over double his number of races? Well, we of course have to start in the 2005 Piston Cup season, where Lightning McQueen was a rookie. He's also the only rookie who ever came close to winning the Piston Cup. The early Piston Cup seasons don't count. In the 2005 Florida 500, Lightning McQueen's very first race, he was relatively unknown. But by the end of the season, in the 2005 Dynaco 400, Lightning McQueen gained a lot of fame as he led every lap in the second half of the 2005 Dynaco 400. And don't forget, he Chick Hicks and the King Strip Weathers were all tied in points going into the race. And it looked like Lightning McQueen would become the very first rookie to win the Piston Cup. But then, his 2 back tires would pop on the final lap as Lightning McQueen did not go for a pit stop. And then, there was the iconic photo finish, where the 3 points leaders all tied at the start-finish line on lap 400. Lightning McQueen used his tongue to tie the race. This was also at a time when RSN was very popular. These events were broadcasted all over the world, and many around the world now knew who the number 95 Rusty's racer was. And during the tiebreaker race in Los Angeles, Lightning McQueen would get the Hudson Hornet, another Piston Cup legend, as his crew chief. And then following the tiebreaker race in the 2006, 2007, and also in the 2009 Piston Cup seasons, Lightning McQueen and the Hudson Hornet together would win 3 Piston Cups. The 2010 Piston Cup season, Lightning McQueen had to do without the Hudson Hornet, as the Hudson Hornet unfortunately passed away during the off-season between the 2009 and 2010 Piston Cup seasons. Lightning McQueen would have a new look for the 2010 Piston Cup season, and he would go on to have his best season, winning 20 races in the 2010 Piston Cup season. The first time that a Piston Cup racer won 20 races in a season since 1971, when the King Strip Weathers did it. Although, the Hudson Hornets' record of 27 races won in one season still remains unbroken to this day. But Lightning McQueen continued to win a lot of races after the 2010 Piston Cup season. Despite RSN's declining ratings around the world, Lightning McQueen was still very popular in other parts of the world. Especially during 2011, when the World Grand Prix would happen. Lightning McQueen would take part in the World Grand Prix. And here's how we know that Lightning McQueen was popular in other countries. Before the first race in Tokyo, Japan, there was a shop full of Lightning McQueen merchandise. The owner of the shop would faint out of excitement when he saw Lightning McQueen and Tow Mater. Lightning McQueen would win 2 out of the 3 races in the World Grand Prix. In the race he didn't win, he still finished second in the race, proving that Lightning McQueen was one of the most talented racers in the entire world, not just in the United States, and also compared with other types of race cars, not just stock cars. These events showed that Lightning McQueen was really famous around the world. How many other Piston Cup racers are that famous around the world? And this got even more international fans to watch Lightning McQueen when the 2011 Piston Cup season would come on. From 2011 until 2016, Lightning McQueen would win 3 more Piston Cups and become the second ever Piston Cup racer to win 7 Piston Cups, winning 3 more Piston Cups in 2012, 2013, and 2015. Despite the fact that Lightning McQueen was easily the best Piston Cup racer during the early 2010s, you would often see Lightning McQueen not being in first, often mixing it up with other Piston Cup racers like Bobby Swift and Cal Weathers. But most international fans didn't care who they were. They only cared to watch Lightning McQueen. If you don't want spoilers for later parts of Piston Cup history, which I have not made in my Piston Cup history videos yet, please fast forward in the video until I get to the outro. Despite Lightning McQueen's disastrous season in 2016, which began well, but then a certain rookie came halfway through the season and led to Lightning McQueen having poor finishes in the second half of the season, and in the 2016 LA 500 having a hard crash. Many Piston Cup fans around the world were still optimistic for Lightning McQueen going into the 2017 Piston Cup season. Many international fans who are used to seeing different types of cars racing against each other had optimism that Lightning McQueen could defeat the 42 other racers who were all next generation racers and go on to win another Florida 500. But Lightning McQueen would not be able to do this alone. He would need to substitute himself out halfway through the race and let Cruz Ramirez race the rest of the race. After the Florida 500, Lightning McQueen would then get this look as the crew chief of Cruz Ramirez. But despite this, Lightning McQueen still hasn't officially retired. He hasn't taken part in any full races since the 2016 LA 500. Lightning McQueen would occasionally sub in when Cruz Ramirez was having a subpar race, and also would take part in many practice and qualifying sessions all the way through until 2024. We're hoping that Lightning McQueen will at least do more of the same going into the 2025 Piston Cup season. Many foreign Piston Cup fans still follow Lightning McQueen to this day, despite the fact that he does not race very much. Instead, most of these fans will instead watch Cruz Ramirez racing, as Lightning McQueen is her mentor. Does the King Strip Weathers or Dale Earnhardt or any other great Piston Cup racer have this level of fame outside of the United States? No, they don't. And also, don't forget that Lightning McQueen essentially put Radiator Springs back on the map, the little town that he stayed in prior to the 2005 LA tiebreaker race. And also, don't forget, Radiator Springs residents like Tow Mater are probably more famous than other Piston Cup legends. Same with Lightning McQueen's pitty, Guido, who also had the fastest pit stop in Piston Cup history. This shows that Lightning McQueen is the most famous Piston Cup racer and will probably continue to be the Piston Cup's most famous racer for many years to come. Let's give a moment to appreciate Lightning McQueen, as he's the primary reason that the Piston Cup is still broadcasted in many countries that would have otherwise stopped broadcasting the Piston Cup.
Remember to press the notifications button, which goes ring, ring, ring after you press it. And lightning strikes back, and that's as if you subscribed, of course. And thank you for watching this entire video.
Lightning McQueen is still in his prime during the first half of the 2016 Piston Cup season. You might be wondering how well he'll do in the 15th race of the 2016 Piston Cup season. The video covering that race will be coming out later during the advent calendar, and another video will be coming out tomorrow related to the Piston Cup. I know this video sounds very obvious, but I decided to make this video because I don't cover events outside of the United States very much on this channel. Aside from the 2022 Russian invasion of Ukraine, which is still going on over 1,000 days after it began on February 24th, 2022. The Ukrainian people just wanted to live in peace and have freedom, but the tyrant and bully, Vladimir Putin, put an end to that common dream for at the very least next 1,000 days. Soon, it's going to be 3 years since this unjustified war began. Currently, Crimea, the Donbass, and parts of the Kherson, Zaporizhia, and Kharkiv Oblasts, around 20% of Ukraine's land area, is illegally occupied by Vladimir Putin's tyranny. Despite this, Ukraine has been able to make gains on Russia's Kursk Oblast, controlling parts of it. But despite this, every day it gets harder for Ukraine to win the war due to dwindling supplies. We here at the K.A. Bullets Piston Cup YouTube channel stand with Ukraine in their struggle against Vladimir Putin's tyranny. Slava Ukraini! Heroyam slava! Nechai Shvitsya Daroretsia! Ukraini Permoha! Glory to Ukraine! Glory to the heroes! May Ukraine be granted victory very soon.